Hello and welcome to the NDTV Auto Show. I'm your host Mugdha Mishra and I'm taking you on a walk around of Mercedes-Maybach SL 680 Monogram series. Mercedes SL. The name reminds me of an absolutely beautiful car. But then when you add Maybach to it, it becomes pinnacle of luxury. And that's what I have with me today, Mercedes-Maybach SL 680 Monogram edition. Up front is this typical Maybach grille and it is illuminated. In fact, the Maybach that you see here also lights up in the night. It's called Monogram edition for a reason. You can see the monograms, Maybach monograms all over the bumper. And look at the silver finish of this bumper. It's beautiful. But then if you are missing some monograms, here they are, 307 of them on this bonnet. And in the center, you get this Mercedes logo with the typical silver strip in the middle. In the international market, this bonnet is optional, but in India, this comes as standard. These are digital lights with rose gold inlays. In India, you do not get that many customization options. This car is pretty much what you get except for choosing the color option. This one is opalite white magno. You have this matte finish white paint which looks very nice, and the other option you have is manufacturer garnet metallic red. And the other option that you have are these alloys. You can opt for these Maybach alloys or multi-spoke 21-inch alloys. The Mercedes-Maybach SL 680 Monogram series gets a 4-litre bi-turbo V8 engine paired with AMG SpeedShift MCD 9G transmission. This car also comes with an ability to raise the front suspension by 30 mm. At the rear, you will notice the double scoop rear design. The tail lamps come with Maybach signet and typical Maybach tailpipe trims. Even the rear apron gets the Maybach diffuser design. And once inside, you notice just how stunningly beautiful these interiors are. Just look at these seats. They are absolutely lovely. They have this floral pattern. Reminds me a little bit of Mercedes TriStars, but it looks beautiful, beautiful. In fact, if you notice at the back, the luggage compartment, that's also finished in Napa leather. So you have a lot of Napa leather here. The other color that's used here is black and it looks quite nice and very, very neat finish. You get this screen here which you can tilt up to 36 degrees. In the SL55, one complaint that we had was that if you wanted to take the roof up, you had to do it through the screen and it was a tedious process. But it is a Maybach, so it has been designed to make sure that you get absolute luxury and you get everything that you want. And that's why you have these two buttons here for taking the roof up and down. And by the way, the entire roof opening action takes 15 seconds and you can do it on the go as well, as long as the speed of the car is not above 60 kph. Now, generally Maybachs are chauffeur driven, but as you can see, this Maybach SL 680 Monogram edition is a 2-seater convertible. That means the owner will most likely drive it, and when they drive it, they will go 0 to 100 in 4.1 seconds, which is slightly higher than SL55, which goes 0 to 100 in only 3.9 seconds. And why is that? That's because this car is heavier. It's heavier because of one big reason. There's a lot that has gone in to make this car a Maybach worthy car. And that includes a suspension which is tuned for giving you a lot more comfort. Noise cancellation, there's some 18 kgs of instruments placed on the wheels, on the all four wheels, to make sure that you have very little NVH. So when you drive this car, you drive it in absolute silence. Has the Mercedes-Maybach SL 680 Monogram edition caught your fancy? Well, it has been launched at 4.2 crores and only 3 have been allocated for India. So if you want to buy this car, you will have to hurry up.
The Hero Xtreme 250R is the looker, right? I mean, the aggressive muscular stance and the sharp profile looks very athletic, very sporty. But I wouldn't judge you if you found the design to be too busy, particularly on the fuel tank. Now the shape of the fuel tank is very nice and muscular, but there are too many details and too many layers happening which some people may or may not like, right? But the motorcycle does look really good. It has solid presence on the road, and there will be a lot of people buying this motorcycle for the way it looks, right? The design and the fit and finish for now seems impressive. Features on the Xtreme 250R include full LED lighting, a console with 35 plus connectivity features under the Hero Connect 2.0 Gambit, which is an eSIM based connectivity system. Then the motorcycle also gets dual channel ABS with a road mode and track mode, and then there's rear wheel lift protection, which is turned off in the track mode, that offers more slip and stronger bite for better braking and shorter stopping distances. The Xtreme 250R weighs in at 167.7 kg and the seat height is 806 mm. The seating position is slightly sporty and not entirely upright, but that makes for an engaging ride. Now the Xtreme 250R gets an all-new 249cc single-cylinder liquid-cooled engine which makes 30 horsepower at 9250 rpm along with 25 Nm of peak torque at 7250 rpm. Now Hero says it has worked hard on the new engine to make it quick and engaging in the low and mid-range. The 0 to 60 km/h sprint is done in 3.2 seconds and the 0 to 100 km/h sprint is done in 8.5 seconds, making it the fastest motorcycle in the segment. But yes, we will test the same when we get the motorcycle back at home base. Needless to say, the engine on the motorcycle feels peppy and rev happy. So the gearing is short, and as you work through the gears you realize that the motorcycle wants to carry speed at all times. The response from the engine is really strong, particularly in the mid-range where you give it the beans and it will just go like a dart, right? And you want to carry triple digit speeds all day long, the motorcycle can do that. For most part the engine is refined. It's only at the very top end where you'll start feeling some vibrations on the foot pegs and the handlebar, right? But apart from that, the motorcycle feels very refined. The engine, particularly the grunt, is very strong, and if you want to make these quick overtaking maneuvers, particularly in the city, it's going to be an enjoyable affair. So the motorcycle gets an all new steel trellis frame which has been optimized for lateral and torsional stiffness. So this is a trellis frame that I was talking about, and along with a 50-50 weight distribution, the motorcycle is meant to handle really well. In fact, I'll say that this is one of the best handling Hero motorcycles in a long time. The response from the front end really nice and very clean, but the ride quality is slightly stiff. That is expected because this is a sport naked, right? So you can't have squishy soft suspension. It is stiff. If you're going over a broken patch of road, you will feel on the undulations, but it's not a deal breaker for sure. In fact, I think you'll enjoy the stiff suspension, attacking corners, right? And the braking performance on this bike is really good too. The bite and progression from the brakes is really nice, predictable. And what I really like is the fact that the race mode of the ABS, that works really well for me, the way I ride. There's the road mode as well. It is a little bit more intrusive. It cuts in a little more aggressively when you're panic braking. But if you put it in race mode, if you brake hard and aggressively, well, the motorcycle feels nice and composed. So the race mode ABS, it's a nice touch from Hero on this motorcycle. The Hero Xtreme 250R is priced at 1,80,000 rupees ex showroom. Alright, so we have been riding the Hero Xtreme 250R in and around the twisties of Udaipur, and the immediate highlight is the performance of the motorcycle. It is fun, enjoyable, engaging, it handles really well, and it gets a decent set of features too. Yes, the design is nice and athletic, too busy for my liking, but like I said, there will be people who will buy the motorcycle for the way it looks, and the pricing is par for the course too. So if you're looking to add a 250cc motorcycle in your garage with decent performance, good looks, decent features, then the Xtreme 250R is something that you should definitely consider.
Welcome back. You're watching the NDTV Auto Show. Kingchuk Datta rode the Triumph Tiger 900 in Ladakh. Here is what he experienced.
I was going to be a part of the Rediscover Ladakh Ride, which promised to show the less touristy and commercialized parts of the high Himalayas. I was giddy with excitement and secured and strapped my rucksack onto the rear seat of the Tiger 900 for my 1,000-kilometer ride into the mountains. Alright, so this is the day 2 of the Triumph Rediscover Ladakh Ride, and we are just about to cross Atal Tunnel and go to Sisu. Right now we are here in Manali. जी हाँ, मनाली में है और मेरी सवारी है Triumph Tiger 900 Rally Pro। बहुत ही शानदार मोटरसाइकिल है, नई अपडेटेड मॉडल है, काफ़ी सारे फीचर्स हैं, पावर ऑफ टॉर्क थोड़ा बढ़ गया है और हम यहाँ से जाएंगे मनाली से सिसु। शॉर्ट राइड है लेकिन बीच में एक ऑफ रोड पैच भी आएगा, तो वहाँ पे हम काफ़ी टाइम स्पेंड करेंगे। So after a nice off-road ride and an overnight stay in Sisu, next day we were headed to the Zanskar Valley, a place that I've never ever been before too. Alright, so we are here in Jispa. We just finished our ride from Sisu and our destination for the day is Padam. So we are about to enter the Zanskar region. I've never been to Zanskar, पहली बार Zanskar जा रहा हूँ, बहुत एक्साइटेड हूँ। हमारा आज का डेस्टिनेशन है पदम और 143 किलोमीटर्स है और हम शृंखला पास होके जाएंगे। The first highlight was the fabled Shrinkhula, a snow-laden mountain pass at 16,580 feet. तो हम पहुंच गए हैं शृंखला पास। ये देखिए बराबर की बर्फ गिर रही है, मोटरसाइकिल पे विंडस्क्रीन पे बर्फ जम रही है, 2 डिग्री सेल्सियस तापमान है और ये देखिए यहाँ पे शृंखला टॉप पे 16,580 फुट 16,580 feet at Shrinkhula top. Everybody is enjoying here. Alright, so I'm not in the frame because I'm all by myself, and this here, ladies and gentlemen, is Gongbo Donjon, a beautiful mythical mountain, and locals say that deities live here. देवी देवताओं का वास है यहाँ पे और साथ ही में मेरी टाइगर है। बस कुछ ही देर यहाँ पे रुकेंगे चाय कॉफ़ी के लिए और फिर हम आगे निकलेंगे पदुम की ओर, जो कि हमारा आज का डेस्टिनेशन है। The beauty of Zanskar is humbling, almost spiritual. Towering peaks on all sides, deep river valleys, and a sky so wide it feels like it could swallow you whole. There's an almost surreal quality to it, as if the world here is frozen in time, untouched by the modernity of civilization. Alright, so we are right now in Padum और आज हम कारगिल तक की दूरी तय करेंगे। करीब 230 किलोमीटर है और बहुत ही बढ़िया रास्ता होने वाला है। काफ़ी ठंड है, बारिश होने वाली है, तो हमने इसलिए पूरा रेनकोट पहन के बिल्कुल रेडी है, अपने आप को विंड प्रूफ वाटर प्रूफ कर लिया है। अब बस बाइक पर बैठने की देरी है और चलने की देरी है। वेरी एक्साइटेड फॉर टुडेज राइड फ्रॉम पदम टू कारगिल। On the way to Kargil, we were to face our toughest challenge yet, the climb to Pensila and then coming down torrential snowfall. So we started from Padum on our way to Kargil, and right now we are at Pensila Pass. And since Padum, when we started riding, it has been raining non-stop, and right now as you can see it's snowing. It's so cold. This is the coldest that I've been on a motorcycle. It's a fantastic ride. The motorcycle is performing really well, but I can't feel my extremities. My fingers, my toes, all dead. I just hope I don't get frostbite. Yes, I'm able to twist my fingers, so that's a good sign. I can't tell you how much I'm looking forward to this, and right now I need a hot drink, like piping hot tea, and a warm bed, and a very nice, cozy, warm blanket. I just want to just dive inside the blanket because right now I'm so cold. But this is one of the best experiences of my life because look at this. I mean, what else do you need? What else do you need? As we climbed down from Pensila, the starkness of the Zanskar Valley began to soften. The mountains lost some of their jaggedness and the occasional patches of green appear. the weather shifted with the descent. What was once cold, wet and snowing at the pass gradually warms into a comfortable temperature as we headed towards Kargil. So yesterday we crossed Penzila on our way from Padum to Kargil. Oof, so cold it was, but it was a fantastic ride. And today we were at the Kargil War Memorial a little earlier. We paid our respects and a tribute to the fallen soldiers in the Kargil War. And right now we are on our way to Umbala. And here we are at one of the high passes on the way to Umbala. And you can see there's Tiger Hill like that, there's Tololing there. All theatres of battle in the Kargil War. And it just gives you goosebumps. I mean, the kind of history, the kind of valor that was shown in the Kargil War by the Indian Army, crazy. मतलब क्या ही कहें, goosebumps आ जाते हैं और you're just filled with pride, you know, when you're here. And it's been a fantastic ride so far. बहुत ही बढ़िया मज़ेदार राइड रहा है अभी तक और मेरी टाइगर 900 बहुत ही बढ़िया चल रही है, मज़ा आ रहा है. और आप देख सकते हैं कि ऑल्टीट्यूड काफ़ी हाई है, बट ना टाइगर को कोई दिक्कत है और टाइगर को कोई दिक्कत नहीं, तो मुझे भी कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. बड़ा मज़ा आ रहा है. From Kargil, it was time for us to head to Leh, which was where my journey would end. The last few days were absolutely exciting. After hours of riding, the triumph of reaching Leh is sweet, and the Tiger has proven itself every inch the adventure machine. As I reflected on the days gone by, I realized that the real essence of this journey wasn't just about getting from one place to another. It was about the challenges faced on the road, the raw terrain, the unpredictable weather, and the solitude of riding through one of the world's most remote places. Every bump, every slide, every twist of the throttle had been a moment of discovery, and the Triumph Tiger 900 Rally Pro proved to be the perfect partner for this adventure. Now the Hero XPulse 204V was a brilliant, capable motorcycle in itself, but it has its share of flaws. With the Hero XPulse 210, the company says that it has rectified all of them. So yes, here we are in Udaipur, riding the Hero XPulse 210. At first glance, not much seems to change in terms of design, but a closer look reveals quite a few differences in the way the motorcycle looks. The LED projector headlight is a new unit and the body panels are different too. The fuel tank on the 210 is completely new. The seat is a different unit as well, and so is the exhaust. Plus, the top spec model of the XPulse 210 gets a bronze engine cover, which adds to that premium touch. Alright, so talking about the ergonomics of the XPulse 210, well, the seat height is 830 mm, so it's not exactly super tall. You can get on the motorcycle very easily and you can plant your foot firmly on the ground. I'm 5'8" and I don't have any problem planting my foot on the ground. The waist of the motorcycle is quite narrow and it weighs in at 170 kg, 9 kg heavier than the XPulse 204V, so significantly heavier, that's right. And if you were to stand up and ride this motorcycle, well, the riding position when you're standing up is very comfortable and you don't feel the need for risers or anything like that. So yeah, tall upright seating position, comfortable seat and very good ergonomics, which means you can spend a lot of time riding this motorcycle and you won't feel fatigued. The Pro variant of the motorcycle gets a new 4.2-inch TFT screen with Bluetooth connectivity and turn-by-turn navigation. The readouts are nice and crisp and visible even in harsh sun. The motorcycle also gets 3 ABS modes: road, off-road and rally. Under the new skin, the XPulse 210 is a completely new motorcycle from the ground up. So the semi-dual cradle frame is new and more robust. The engine is the highlight, of course. It is the same as the one used on the Hero Charisma XMR 210 and now displaces 210cc. With the power output going up to 24.26 horsepower at 9250 rpm, the peak torque output is 20.7 Newton meters, coming in at 7250 rpm. The power and torque output go up by 5 horsepower and 2.5 Newton meters roughly. Also, the bike now gets a 6-speed gearbox instead of the earlier 5-speed unit. The XPulse 210 gets a 41mm telescopic fork up front with 210mm of travel, while the rear gets an adjustable monoshock with 205 mm of travel. For stopping power, the bike gets a 276 mm pedal disc and at the rear is a 220 mm disc. With the substantial increase in power and torque, the performance on the XPulse 210 is miles better than the XPulse 204V. So finally, this is a highway worthy motorcycle and you can cruise at 80, 90, 100 kilometers per hour all day long. You will be comfortable on the bike and now the motorcycle feels much more engaging, much more peppy, particularly in the mid-range. The bottom end feel is still slightly lacking, but it's not a deal breaker. The mid-range punch is very good on this motorcycle. It feels much more refined also. There are vibrations at the top end, but that's okay, that's understandable. In-gear acceleration, pretty decent. So if you want to accelerate from 30 kilometers per hour in the third gear, you can go up to like 80 kilometers per hour and then you shift into fourth. So talking about the ride and handling on the new XPulse 210, well, firstly, you get this nice wide handlebar, so it feels nice and easy to maneuver. Yes, it becomes heavier than the older model, but still it feels nice and agile, particularly when you're filtering through traffic in the city, and on the highway you'll feel very comfortable. The motorcycle is decently stable at high speeds, and if you want to attack corners, well, it does so. It's not exactly a corner carving machine with the 21-inch wheel up front, but otherwise you can carry speeds into the corner. There's decent cornering clearance, and if you were to talk about the ride quality on the motorcycle, I think that's the highlight of the XPulse 210. Minor undulations, you won't even feel. The ride is very supple, very comfy, and when you go off-road, the motorcycle soaks up all of that undulations, those big jumps. It nails the landing. So as far as the dynamics of the XPulse 210 is concerned, yes, it is quite impressive. Alright, so let's talk about the off-road performance of the XPulse 210. Well, it is impressive and significantly better than that of the XPulse 204V. The engine, because it is more powerful now, so you get more power and torque to get out of tricky situation, and the initial acceleration is quite nice. It may not have the power to do a power slide, so to say, but you can turn off the rear ABS and use a brake slide to get into a turn. And the suspension, like we said, really nice, supple, soaks up all the undulation imperfections on the road and on the off-road terrain very nicely. If you want to do a few jumps, the motorcycle is more than up for that. And yeah, the riding position is quite nice and comfortable even when you're standing up. The off-road performance of the XPulse 210 is something that I really like, and if you're a beginner and if you want to learn how to ride off-road, then the XPulse 210 is possibly one of the best machines you can buy. Base variant of the XPulse 210 is priced at 1,76,000 rupees, while the Pro variant is priced at 1,86,000 rupees. The Pro gets a taller windscreen, a tail rack, knuckle guards and a TFT screen. The Pro is also a couple of kg heavier than the base variant. Overall, it is around 24,000 rupees more expensive than the XPulse 200. And well, the Kawasaki KLX 230 comes closest to being a rival. It is significantly more expensive at 3.3 lakh rupees. It is a vast improvement over the XPulse 204V. The power and torque go up, the engine feels nice, light and refined. The motorcycle is a hoot to ride on the road, off-road as well. The capability really goes up by a few notches, and there's a decent set of features on offer too. And if your budget is 2 lakh rupees and you want to have a do-it-all motorcycle in your garage, then the XPulse 210 makes absolute sense.
So how did you like that show today? Do give us your feedback on our YouTube channel NDTV Auto, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. You can also follow us on your favorite social media platform. See you next week. Till then, take care and drive safe.